What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man Cam on location once again, out here in the Pacific Northwest, Cleveland. So I want to complain this morning, but then I had to look back, Cleveland. I had to look back and be like, it has been 14 days since I've been here, like over 14 days, and we got rain twice. It's been rain 2 of those days. Now, I don't know. I can't say what's coming up. I have not even looked at the weather map. But I can say it's been some real nice 69, 71, 72 degree days, fans, where, I forgot what that 72
feel better about yourself, don't you, Karen? Like,
I
the
forgot
sun
what
is
that.
shining, the breeze is coming across. Like, yeah.
The Northwest, boy, I tell you, I've always said that though. Since I left and came back, man, when the sun is out up here, it's always a good day when the sun is out in the Pacific Northwest, fans. But it's just when that sun ain't out. It's been a good mixture. I have to admit, it's been longer than 14 days. It's been like 20, 22 days actually. Since I've been up in the Northwest, and it's literally only rained like 2 days. I know for sure. Yeah. Maybe a third. 2 days. I know for sure. So, what do you give it? And like I said, it got to 81 day last week with my little sweatshirt. I was wondering what I was doing with a sweatshirt on out here.
Yeah, you were was what you were doing. Yeah.
So how you doing, Cleveland? You see us got a win. I saw your little funky article. Cleveland now writing articles that you can
appreciate it.
Sorry, fans. Yeah, I said Cleveland, you writing articles now about the Seahawks. Where can that article be found?
On the voiceoftefans.org.
There you go. We should have weekly content for you guys. So be sure to check us out, tune in, and leave a comment. Leave us subscribe and leave a comment to our YouTube page so you can also check that out as well. We haven't did it in a while, but just I do need to update this. I'll give you a forewarning now. But those of you who are new to the show, this is how we typically kick off the show.
Am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name
Cameron.
is Cam Buford. Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging on my man Cameron Buford.
We got some good questions today.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
There's always room for improvement.
This is a big year for Tua to prove that he's a franchise quarterback.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
All we want to see every year are the best two mothers getting in the ring and getting on.
Best people to fight for this. Somehow we got away from that because guys are trying to protect their record.
Think about it like this. The promoter pays the fighter. The fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter, and the fighter works for the promoter.
Okay.
Talk about that loyalty for a moment. I'm standing there to try to make a change. Give back to the youth, give back to my community and show them that there is hope that you can make it out. Only thing is you just got to be dedicated. You got to keep your head down and stay on this course that you're heading towards.
So you are lifting weights currently?
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with them?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world. Can I finish? Right now? Do you want me to speak, or do you want to conduct the interview and answer for me?
What do you think about these upcoming?
Aaron, like I was saying before.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show Voice of the Fan,
oh my goodness,
continues to evolve.
You were adding some spice to it.
It is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
The real ones know what's going on, right?
Like you said, Pacific Northwest, so I think it's a big part of my game, and every time I step on the floor, I just want to represent myself.
You play this game and you don't turn it not trying to win a championship, then why are you playing for?
happy for the Mariners. I'm happy for the whole
Cam. Nobody.
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
You look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
You play against Michael Jordan, and you said LeBron is the best player in the history of the game? Did you guys hear that?
Oh, this guy.
It's okay.
That's what's good in sports, man. It's the big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sport.
Thank you for making our voice your choice.
And really appreciate you listening to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Check it out every single week.
You know how we do.
Check us out every single week. This is me, your man Cam. I got my man Cleavon over there. How you doing, Cleavon?
Doing fantastic, Cam. Thanks for asking.
Just a little reminder, friend, for some of you guys who may have got some stuff wrong across the ticker. One thing in particular where you can find us, and then I want to see Cleavon. Do you remember making this bet here?
I do.
I mean, how we looking? How we looking?
Not great right now through 3 weeks.
It's only 3 weeks. Oh, look at him. It's only 3 weeks. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that. I have some concerns about Caleb. I thought he would be a little bit further along in his development, and some things to work out.
So when we were talking about, he has this guy next to him. He got Roma Dunze, the next coming of, who did you say? DeAndre Hopkins and
Jamar
and who?
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase, the dude who just got a 50-yard bomb the other night. That guy?
Well, Cam, I mean, if you're just going to stat me to death, I mean, Rum was 6 for 112 and a touchdown last game. I think better numbers than Jamar even. Certainly better numbers than DeAndre Hopkins. So.
Well, I mean, that's not. I mean, hopefully you weren't talking about DeAndre Hopkins of 2023 or 24. Hopefully,
I was talking about,
you were talking about that guy
and what DeAndre was able to do when he first came into the league, not present day. No, not current.
Either way, you'd be absolutely false. Yeah, absolutely incorrect in that comparison. I mean, come on, now give me a break. Again, Keenan Allen already missing games. One of the downfalls you have to deal with Keenan Allen, the aging receiver. I mean, his hamstrings has been sensitive for a long time now, and sure enough, I mean, I don't know what you expected from a guy who's used to playing in the 72 degree. You think it's nice here at 72 degrees? What do you think it's like in LA with no threat of rain? Seattle, at least you have to consider it. In LA, there's no threat of rain, and it's 75 all day. What do you think what's going to happen when you go from that weather, that climate, to the Northwest? I mean, excuse me, to the Midwest.
Yeah, Cam, sounds like you're making excuses for the future quote unquote Hall of Famer in your eyes.
No, I still think he's a Hall of Famer. That had nothing to do with it. I still think he's a Hall of Famer. What's up, Barry? Thanks for tuning in.
That rumor had was squashed when Eric came on the show, and it's like, that's not.
I mean, come on, he don't know. What did he know?
You and Keenan's mom. So those are the only people that think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But that was kind of one of the risks that you took on when you went and got a veteran receiver in his 43rd year.
See how you do.
Yeah.
I mean, see how you do.
So I thought about Caleb, started
So you saying you don't think they use him properly, or you didn't think there'd be this learning curve?
I didn't think the learning curve would be as steep for Caleb as it has been, and clearly he doesn't trust his eyes, and clearly he's doing that thing that phenom quarterbacks do when they come in.
To make every play.
No. Is that they're waiting for their receivers to break wide open because
that's what he used to.
Receivers breaking wide open, and that just doesn't happen in the NFL. And so it's not going to be a physical mismatch every time you take the snap, and he hasn't adjusted so far.
What do you see? Is it a problem with the offensive line that he's not trusting that as well, and he's doing a lot of moving? What do you think? What are you seeing? I mean, if you're watching these games and you're being critical, what are you seeing that other than he hasn't adjusted? Because that's
kind
of was expected.
Yeah, the offensive line is not spectacular, and again, he's used to playing at USC, where like, wow, I have 4 or 5 seconds to make decisions. But
he was turning those 4 and 5 seconds, like a lot of people don't have that, but he was turning that 4 and 5 seconds into 9 and 10 seconds just with his running around and stuff. Some of that stuff I thought was unnecessary.
So none of that's going on. But the biggest problem is that he got a false sense of security in kind of like where he was in his progression with regards to being an elite quarterback from the preseason, from joint training camp practices, and so.
Now you're not gonna talk about preseason mattering again. Did we go back here? Did we get back here in the second week in a row?
I'm glad
about preseason mattering.
No, Cam, I'm glad that we're here because it gives a false pretense with regards to where you are as a team. Because
no, it didn't, Cleveland. No, it did not really. Not really. It really did not. It really
did. For a lot of teams. They thought that they were further along.
We're talking about Chicago. Now you're going to bring in other people.
They thought they were further along because of what they were able to accomplish in the preseason. And then once the regular season started, it was like, it's nothing like that, actually. You don't have enough games to kind of get through that to understand exactly where you're at as a team.
You mean you can't? This is something that's really tough to figure out on the fly in real life situations. What you're saying? Do I got you right?
No. What I'm saying is that you probably get a false sense of security with regards to what you were able to accomplish in the preseason, adverse how the regular season really actually looks. And Caleb is struggling with that right now.
So the preseason game didn't matter.
No, they absolutely did matter. They gave all the teams an opportunity to kind of scrimmage and see what they were about. But if they took anything too positively from it, it was kind of, fool's gold, because it's not really how things actually transpire once the real live games get started. And all of those things that he was really able to do during the regular season, during the preseason, have not translated to the regular season.
Do you have a timetable for us, or are you just going to be sit there frustrated?
Week 7, week 8.
Week 7, week 8, we'll see the Rookie of the Year candidate that you was pumping up. Is that what you're telling me?
Or we won't.
That's on the board, huh?
For sure.
Oh my goodness!
Not looking impressive.
This is the first over here. This is the first. Oh, Caleb, you better get it together. Cleveland has been on your. He's been riding your bandwagon for the last 2 years. He didn't even need to see a senior season at USC. It didn't even matter what he did at USC. And now to hear him say, or he won't, like, whoo, like Cleveland is really telling you, or he won't, Caleb. Like, so much for that Irish dinner, huh?
I mean, the way Malik was looking last week, like, oh, okay, well, that's clearly right now it's in jeopardy, and it's not in my favor right now.
That's interesting. Caleb, you got Cleveland. You got Cleveland giving up in week 3.
Not giving up. Just,
I mean, we might as well go do this in person if you're gonna give up in week 3.
the glimpse from week 3 does not look favorable. Do more, do better.
Ooh. Cleveland full of harshness tonight. Well,
yeah, I don't even live in Chicago. Imagine what those guys are saying in Chicago.
I mean, they don't know what's going on. I mean, there's no sports fans in Chicago.
Funny story. I was in Chicago.
There's no sport. You couldn't pull up Peacock to watch the Bears.
Yeah. I was in Chicago. The Chicago Bears, I believe they were either 8-1 or 9-1 with Rex Grossman as the quarterback. Ooh. And everywhere I went, they're like, no, they didn't bench that dude.
They what? They were like, what?
They benched that dude. Like that dude.
I mean,
it's like 8-1, 9-1. Like,
I mean, he wasn't, but what's your memory of Rex Grossman? What's your memory of Rex Grossman?
It's probably Florida. It's probably a lot of Florida, Gators play, but it was just so crazy. Like, if your team is like
8-1, get on the guy. Oh, really?
And they were just like, no, that dude is not good.
I mean, it's kind of like treating him like you were treating Geno Smith for the last season. Reminiscent of that.
This is the first year Geno Smith's been good.
Oh, let's see how you do. You had a chance to get Uncle Geno's good side and make his mom love you again, but then you see the framing you're gonna use. This is the first season he's been good. Cleveland, I've been telling you this is Geno his whole career. And here you go. Taking shots at Geno.
You've been wrong. You've been wrong the whole time.
What are you talking about? I've been wrong the whole time.
First year he's been good.
Wasn't he just a Pro Bowler too? Not the last season, but the season before.
That was an apparition. This is the first year he's been good.
You know what? I try to give you a home run shot, and you see what you do.
No,
you can't even take the pop up
that Geno Smith has played for the last 3 years. This is the first time he's been good.
Man, I'm gonna get Geno on the show.
Get him on the show.
That might be my mission for the next for 4 weeks. That might be my goal for the next 4 weeks. See if I can get Geno on the show.
I'm so ready.
Because you gonna have to apologize. That's what I would make him. I would make you apologize to Geno on the show.
I would tell Geno to his face the same thing that I'm telling you. This is the first year you've been good.
And Geno would tell you, Cleveland, how wrong you are, because I swore didn't he just get you to the playoffs a couple years ago? How you just gonna throw that man aside after doing what he did?
I mean, that was all right, man.
What do you mean, all right? What?
I mean, Tua got y'all.
You've been spoiled.
Yeah, Tua got y'all to the playoffs last year, and you still ready to throw him out with the bathwater? Because
you see why?
You've watched too much tape.
You see what his fragility. You see why this is his fragility plays into it.
Even before the concussion, you still weren't not a fan.
Well, I predicted that was having foresight.
Because you had seen too much.
No, that was having foresight in being able to project.
I've been watching Geno for 3 years. This is the best he's ever looked. So, and it's not coincidental. It's in that new Grub offense that he's looked extraordinary. So,
well, here you go with that college offense. Here you go with that college offense. I don't know, man.
I know, because you've been in that different time zone, so you haven't had an opportunity to actually watch the University of Washington Huskies play. They only lost 3 games in the last 2 years.
That's in college, bro. You can't make that comparison.
Say that, but they have 3 starting receivers in the league.
Okay, is that offense going to look the same this year?
Reached up and grabbed Michael Penix Jr., the Atlanta Falcons did, in the top 10.
You ought to be glad they didn't do that. You better be glad that didn't happen. Talking about fragility. Through 3 weeks. Your guy Geno Smith has a passing success rate of 49.5. That's only his rookie season, or no, excuse me. Only his first season with Seattle did he have beat that, but he only threw 5 passes. He was 4 for 5 that game. But that was his first year with the Seahawks. He had a 50, but he only threw 5 passes. Yards per catch per pass, or excuse me, yards per pass is just as high as 10.2. He's had higher. He's had 11.2. He was 11 last year. And his yards per game, Cleveland, as high as it's been. 263 in his career. And he leads the NFL in pass completions. That's something that you ought to be proud about. And his completion percentage, Cleveland, is right at 75%, at 74.8. So it's time you put some respect on Geno Smith's name.
I put some respect on Geno Smith's name, and again, I am so happy with the efficiency that he is running the Ryan Grubb offense. It's been a pleasure to watch. He's maintained his composure, his poise. He knows the right thing to do at the right time.
Watch this, fans. Watch this, fans. Watch the language change here. Watch how the language change when I ask the simple question. Just a very simple question. But since I've been doing this show for too long with Cleveland Steele, he can't give me some padded, sugar-coated answer. I'm glad he's doing it in the Ryan Grubb offense. So now, Cleveland, are you telling the fans that coaching does matter?
Oh, absolutely, it matters in football probably more than any other sport, because we're about to get past the first quarter, Cam, and fans that have been watching and don't listen to Cam's rhetoric. You always know how I feel about this first quarter, right? And and subsequent quarters going forward, there's just too much tape to analyze and recognize, and things change dramatically after the first quarter. For the first quarter, he's been dynamic. They've been running this offense. They've been doing things. I'm like, yeah, love it. Yeah, love that play call. For years and years and years, since Marshawn was gone, not really loving the Seahawks offense. This one, love it. Doing great. And Geno's looking great in it so far.
More shots taken at Geno, unprovoked shots. Just why'd you have to throw this so far in there? He's 3-0. He only can do what he can do, right?
Right, and so far,
that was you didn't need to say so far, man. You didn't even throw that in there.
I gave him his praise after the New England game. He showed a lot of poise, a lot of maturity. Doing some things that we need him to do. Great.
Well, we're gonna talk more about Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks in there. The Seattle Seahawks brought out the refs and made the refs part of Lumen Field, and you really showed off their little home field advantage against my undermanned Miami Dolphins, I might add. But we had those guys. If my backup tight end doesn't bobble the ball off his face mask, that's a whole different ball game late in the fourth quarter. So we're going to talk more about the Seattle Seahawks and that matchup there with the Miami Dolphins at Lumen Field. But fans, I want to thank you guys again for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is week 310 of the Voice of the Fans podcast, and each and every week we do some things that other podcasts do not do, Cleveland. We have a numbers game at the beginning of the show. We have our This Week in History segment after our NBA talk and between our miscellaneous and NBA talk. Then we're going to give in the show with a quote. Not many shows do that. I'll give you guys some inspiration to move forward throughout the rest of the week, Cleveland. So Cleveland, with their numbers game, being that it is September 25, week 2024, and week 310, Cleveland, We're gonna look at the number 25 and the number 10. When you think of the number 25, who comes to your mind first, or who wore that jersey number the best?
You know, Cam, who's coming to mind first is Reggie Bush, just because he's still trying to be petty and act like he wasn't, culpable with all of the things that went on with him, and why the NCAA took his Heisman, and forgets that he, his agent was, paying for his parents to live in a $3,000 a month house for 3 years, and then he decided he didn't want to sign with the agent, which then led to, other ramifications, and wants to act like he's a victim here. It's horrible. Don't like it. His play on the field when he was number 5 was extraordinary for the Trojans, but 25 with the Saints, he did get a ring. Let's not forget about that. But he was
a punt returner when he got the ring, though.
And the starting running back. So I just don't like the way that he's handled this whole thing. Now, when it comes to who wore it the best, well, that's Barry Lamar Bonds.
Do you say Casey Jones?
So when it comes to who wore the number 25 the best, that's Barry
Mark McGuire. You okay over there? I said Mark McGuire the best. You get all choked up. When you think of number 10, Cleveland, outside of Jim Zorn, man, who wore that number the best, or who come to your mind first?
Comes to mind at first is Justin Herbert, your guy. I mean, just kind of all kinds of beat up, and his injury, or him trying to play through that for an entire NFL season is going to be the reason the Los Angeles Chargers don't make the playoffs once again. And even Coach Harbaugh can't change that situation. Who wore it the best is probably Pele.
Cleveland just got us took some rounds right there. We ain't even talking about the Chargers, but you just wanted to let loose, huh? Anything you can do to take shots at Justin Herbert. Is that that's where we're at?
That's not what I'm doing. I said you asked who came to mind first, Justin Herbert.
Anything to take shots at my guy Justin Herbert. Boy, like that Oregon Duck don't wear off. Oh, you still see that green and yellow?
Yeah, all the time.
This week, Cleveland, it was an interesting week, man. Everybody saw this coming. The Ravens and Derrick Henry was going to run right at the Cowboys, and it was either going to be a 30-carry night for 95 yards for Derrick Henry, or the King was going to show out. He did 25 for like 150. Showed on the Cowboys, and your guy podcast Parsons, like, everybody just seen him running on him. What's the deal now?
Yeah, he's been exposed. It's very obvious how to attack the Cowboys defense. It's with a lot of motion, and Micah will follow the carrot wherever the carrot goes. It's not really actually there, and the Cowboys have to be up for him to be effective, right? Because if they're down or you're not really quite sure what they're going to do, then he has to do a whole bunch of stuff he's not really very good at. But if it's just the Cowboys are up by 6 to 10 points and he just has to rush the passer, oh boy, you don't want that. But when he can do other things and the game's kind of in question, he gets a little confused out there.
Ooh, Cleveland threw out the confused word. Uh-oh. You didn't say like he's not playing with a full deck. You didn't mean that kind of confused, did you?
No. I mean, it's just like a lot of
motion. I'm trying to save you, man.
Action,
I'm trying to save you.
Reverse or that kind of stuff. Yeah, he's fully committed to following the football, even if the football is not there. So, yeah.
Man, well, on the other side of the ball, Cleveland, you want to take shots at my thoughts on guys need to play preseason games. But CeeDee Lamb and Dak ain't playing with the same connection we saw them play with the last couple of years. Do you think maybe CeeDee waiting till the final week of training camp to come in and play and and run some routes and get on some kind of symmetry, well, Dak has made a difference in the way this offense is clicking.
For sure, and you can turn around and point the finger right to Jerry Jones for not getting this done sooner.
Well, I wasn't trying to go there. That's what goes without question. That's very obvious. But my whole thing is, we talked about this 4 weeks ago. You said, "Oh, it didn't matter." It didn't matter. Oh, preseason games.
No, I never said that.
You did say that multiple times.
If you throw to somebody like 5,000 more times, yeah, you'll have a little bit more chemistry. But if the reason that you're not throwing to someone 5,000 more times is because you want to give them, 1/4 of what the other receivers are making in the league, well, then point the finger at yourself for not having more reps to get better.
Again, you guys see Cleveland think he's slick. I'm not a member of the Dallas Cowboys. I am not saying that if I was a head coach or if I was Jerry Jones,
what you were saying is
that's not me.
No, Cam, what you're saying.
My question to you,
no, Cam, what you're saying is if they had more reps, they would be sharper and more crisp and making more plays, right? If they had more reps. And what I'm saying is that's true. I feel that. But what's the reason they don't have? But what's the reason they don't have more reps?
Because CeeDee Lamb decided to sit at home until he got a fat contract.
He was making 25% of what the top receivers are making.
That's a different discussion, man. You see how Cleveland just trying to combine the conversations.
It's a direct correlation with regards to why they didn't have more reps, which you wanted them to have, which you thought that they needed to have, right?
Whether he was paid 1/4 of what the rest of the receivers were paid, or making the close to $30 billion or $30 million a year that he's making now, he would have been more effective with more reps.
For sure.
And when I was saying this, y'all, you're boohoo preseason. You mentioned it earlier. Preseason games. It gives you a false sense of hope. It gives you a false sense of credibility.
You're completely ignoring why they get more reps.
Again, you want to go to the contract. We're not talking about the contract issue.
What's going on in Cincinnati, right?
Another example.
Yeah.
When you're there, that symmetry seems all of a sudden happen.
When you're there, so what makes me come there to camp? Compensation for who I am.
Your desire to win. Your desire to win championships.
Okay, Cam.
Your desire to win should have you showing up. How you gonna be? And then you show up, and then you're on the sideline and sweats all the time. You see, that stuff doesn't work, man. That when cats do that, they have a funky season. Mm-hmm. Come into camp, play, be a player, play a role, and the money will come.
Will it?
Dak dislocated his ankle and still got paid.
Will the money come?
Who didn't get? Who hasn't got paid? Cleveland. When you talk about a player like Justin Jefferson,
Mark Chase hasn't gotten paid. T. Higgins hasn't gotten paid.
Okay. No.
Dak Prescott.
What I'm saying, who hasn't got paid? Who hasn't got paid?
First game of the NFL season.
Okay, no, you're not letting me finish the question. I said when I say who hasn't gotten paid, Cleveland, what player in NFL history? I'm trying to rack my brain right now to think of it as I ask this question. What player in NFL history decided to play without a contract and his career was ruined, and he never made that contract? What player did that happen to?
I'm sure there's been.
Just name one.
Like that, but I can't.
No one. You just gave me an example of Derek, of CeeDee Lamb, of Jamar Chase, of Dak Prescott. Obviously, he got paid at the very last minute. But name me a player.
Yeah, Cam, I'm not going to get into all that negative energy.
Oh, that's negative energy now. I mean, you try to bring up contracts and compensation into the conversation.
I know for a fact it's happened. Hit me kind of quick with that question.
Okay. Well, think about it. Let us know. Let us know when you think of one. Let us know when you think of one.
Okay.
But the Commanders over the Bengals. Now, Cleveland. I was forced to start a segment last season. Do you remember the segment I had to start? Although it was about week 8, I will say, because I was holding out on making this recounting what I actually thought about this player. But do you remember last week I was forced to start? Your guy forced me to start a segment. Do you remember the name of the segment?
No.
The name of the segment was "I Was Wrong." And it took me about 8 seconds, or excuse me, it took me about 8 weeks before I could commit to saying that I was wrong about Stroud. Can you say in 3 weeks that you're wrong about Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, I was wrong.
I mean, I didn't watch all of the game. I saw more so the second half. But I didn't know he was 21 for 23. Like, I just saw him I was at a bar just kind of watching him play, seeing that the game was on. Bro, 21 for 23, that's 91% completion percentage.
Okay, well, you don't have to stat me to death. And again,
no, I'm just saying that was impressive.
Again, you said you didn't watch the game, but no,
I saw the second half and the big plays.
The fluidity of his throws and his motions, and kind of what really kind of got me on board was ESPN's Ryan Clark, who had been watching him since his Arizona State days because his son went there and was playing with him, so had a bird's eye view of everything.
A behind the scenes conversation. Yeah. Ryan Clark is cool.
Yeah. So he's always kind of had this, and he was just like, just watch this throw, just watch this throw, just watch this throw. And I'm like, well, yeah, I saw him put up very gaudy numbers against very inferior opponents playing with LSU, and I didn't think it would translate to the pros. I was wrong.
Yeah, he's doing his thing out there, and he looks calm. He looks calm and poised. And he looks fearless isn't the proper word, but he doesn't run with any franticness, I guess. Is more smooth type playmaker. You know what I'm saying? There's no herky jerky. It's just smooth. Yeah. It's smoothness. And even I can say this, that even college is not in the NFL. I get it, but he took some shots at LSU that he's had a couple of shots in the league that make you that have you question whether he's going to come back in the game. And he came back in the game at LSU, and was it Monday night he took a shot in the ribs and went out for a minute but came back in, or was that last week? That might have been last week.
It was for play. Yeah.
How?
I think a play.
Yeah, he got shot in the ribs, laid there, and they had to stop the game, and then he got it back and came back in the game. I appreciate that. But yeah, that's a 141 QBR. You don't like stats, Cleveland, but you have to appreciate what he's done. He was 3 for 3 on fourth down. You have to appreciate some of the stuff that he's accomplished. And the question I have to ask you: is he, first of all, the best quarterback in the division?
No.
Who's better?
Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts are better.
Both of them are better.
Yeah.
Okay. Week 3, 2024. Cleveland says Jaden Daniels is behind Dak and Hurts. Okay. Is this a repeat of the 2023 draft selection process, where the wrong quarterback the better quarterback gets drafted number 2?
No.
You're not convinced yet?
No.
Okay. I mean, if Ryan Clark convinced you, he ain't do a very good job.
No, he convinced me that I was wrong about Jaden, Daniels and what he's capable of, but is he still No, I don't think he's the best quarterback that was drafted last year.
Cleveland, the Bills slaughtered the Jaguars. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have a conversation about somebody else that the league was wrong about. Mr. Sandy hair, golden brown, Trevor Lawrence. We're gonna have a conversation in the next couple of weeks about this kid if these things continue how they're going. But yeah, the Bills just slaughtered those guys. The 40 I had that as my most impressive win. The Ravens beating the Cowboys, the Commanders over the Bengals, and the Bills over the Jaguars. Cleveland, what did you have over as a better win or most impressive win this week?
More impressive. Well, it depends on how you look at it, but Minnesota beating Houston was impressive.
Yeah, that was
the Carolina Panthers beating the Raiders was impressive. And I also thought that the Denver Broncos beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was impressive.
Really, I didn't that didn't register to me. That Broncos beating the Buccaneers. But yeah, the other two, I'd agree. Minnesota winning their game and Carolina winning their game. We're going to get to, I guess, the Andy Dalton portion of the show. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But before we get away, before we get into the worst losses, we'll go ahead and lead with the Dolphins getting henpecked by the Seattle Seahawks. And I started off by telling you, Cleveland, I want to ask you a question, and we don't have to go deep into these shows right now, but I want to ask you a question. Are you giving Mike O'Connell more credit than Sam Darnold for what they're doing in Minnesota?
Oh, I always give more credit to the player than the coach. I mean, it's great that he's in a system they can flourish in, but you have to make the throws. So, yeah, give more credit to Sam Darnold.
What about in Green Bay? Do you give more credit to the head coach or the second string quarterback they're playing with?
Give more credit to Malik Willis. I think he had quite a bit to prove going back to Tennessee, considering that they had drafted him and then drafted Will Levis because they didn't think he was all that, and then just outright traded him. So yeah, he had a lot to prove, and he proved it.
So you think it's just the player coming there with his knowledge of the game, his experience, his determination and passion to come in there and prove Tampa or Tennessee wrong, that he leads Minnesota to victories?
Green Bay, yes, for that one.
Green Bay, yeah,
that he did, but I mean, it was just
he's 2-0. He's 2-0, isn't he?
Who did they beat? No, are they?
Yeah, he's 2-0.
Okay. Oh yeah, the week before that, the Colts. Yeah, right. So yeah, not a great game. He didn't play particularly well, and this last game he played up to expectations. He played good.
Okay, so Cleveland didn't take the bait, fans. He didn't take the bait, and I guess that speaks to how he holds on to his thoughts and won't let the new information changes his information. He did to give him some credit. He changes his line on the quarterback from the Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels, but he will not relinquish his thoughts on NFL coaches. He doesn't think NFL coaches are needed. Like the NFL is like the NFL has downplayed the importance of running backs. Cleveland has totally downplayed the importance of head coaching in the league. He's been on this for years, fans. This isn't the only time he's done it. And I thought I had him by saying that all of a sudden Sam Darnold has turned into a type flight quarterback. You don't think it has anything to do with Kevin O'Connell?
Talent over scheme. I will say that forever, and you will always go the other way.
a good coach's job is take the talent and make it perform and make it blossom. That's a good coach's job. If coaches aren't doing that, they're not a good coach. And so therefore he's taking Sam Darnold, who's on a fourth team. This is the second time in Sam Darnold's career. Sam Darnold been in the league like 7 years.
But Cam, you already know what's going to happen, right?
Oh, here you go. Here you go. Now all of a sudden you want to throw out the book like there's like coaching matters later on in the season, but it doesn't matter early in the season.
Okay, so Cam, there was another quarterback that played for that same Minnesota Vikings team that got an opportunity to kind of step in. This is in the 90s. And he stepped in and he went 15-1 running the Brian Billick offense. That dude's name was Randall Cunningham. Extreme, immense talent. When talent meets scheme and blows up. And I'm so sorry. He also had
Look how disingenuous you are.
Carter and Randy Moss to throw to.
Okay, and so you're making
that's when talent meets scheme. Like they meet.
So wait, Culpepper wasn't talented?
So right now,
Culpepper wasn't talented. Are you saying Culpepper wasn't talented?
So right now, what we have
so you don't want to have that. No. You don't want to have that conversation. This is how disingenuous he is. Yes. When Cunningham and meets talent meets scheme, you get the perfect combination.
15-1.
What are you talking about?
15-1. But by that time,
what happened to him? What happened to him the next year?
Because by that time,
the next year.
No. Because by that time, and this is even more to my point. Because by that time, when Culpepper came in, the scheme wasn't even the same. But they had the talent. They replaced the Randall Cunningham with the Dante Culpepper, and they still had Chris Carter and Randy Moss, and got to the NFC Championship. Lost to the Giants. And back to my point. It takes 4 weeks of tape for the league to go, okay. Either we're going to have a very difficult time stopping this, or we need to figure out how to stop this, and I've figured it out.
So it took probably like 4 plays before the Dolphins figured out the Miami Dolphins quarterback couldn't do anything on Sunday. And when I wanted to bring up the whole coach versus talent situation, those other coaches, I don't care what you say, those other coaches, you have never seen you've seen a couple years apart glances of Sam Darnold winning 3 games in a row. This is only the 3rd time it's ever happened in his career. So we haven't seen him on this. We don't see him on this type of streak very often. So I'm gonna credit the coach for that. And Sam Darnold can't come off the bench playing for a 5th team in his career, talking about now here's my chance to make a difference in the league. No, it doesn't work like that. You get it. Somebody coaches you, breathes some confidence in you, allows you to play in an inhibited kind of way, and whether he's depending on you or not, he's allowed to play and play free out here, and this is what he's doing. And I'll give the coach of the Green Bay Packers a nod on this as well, because he's taken Malik Willis, who was pretty much given up on by Tennessee Titans, and made him a serviceable quarterback. What I want to say, and my point is about Chris Grier and the Miami Dolphins, is everybody's not thinking about your backup quarterback, even when you pay your first string quarterback $53 million. But the good GMs do think about potential disasters. And how could you not have a backup plan when you have a quarterback whose propensity to get hurt or to be out for 3 to 6 games with head trauma? How can you not have a proper backup plan for that? You come in with you decide on Skylar Thompson in spring. I mean, we're just a few weeks away from training camp. You decide on him, Skylar Thompson, to be your backup. He comes in, he absolutely stinks. Tim Boyle, the 3rd string quarterback, comes in and looks better than Skylar Thompson. So what are we doing there? Mike McDaniel, you had 10 days to coach up one of these guys to get them ready for a football team. Now, albeit you don't have a lot of tape on the defense that Mike McDaniel is running up in Seattle, but you had 10 days to prepare for this, travel across the country, get to play it up. It looked like completely out of play, completely outclassed. We're not targeting our number one receiver, the receiver who's making over $30 million. We're not targeting him, but 4 times in the game, you don't target Jalen Waddle, but 3 times in the game. This is you run. Or poor A-Chain. I hope you got him some Epsom salt. I hope he signed a contract for some Epsom salt early in the year, because he's going to need these hot and cold baths every day, because they're going to wear this young kid out, and he's going to be like DeMarco Murray. What's your line about DeMarco Murray? The first year you tell us we don't know if you're durable. He's durable the next season, and then he got too much miles on his body. So they're gonna wear this poor kid out. And so I was getting to the whole coaching of the thing. This is why I think Mike McDaniel's kind of on the hot seat right now, because you're gonna have to coach up one of these guys. You're gonna show us that you can get something out of somebody other than Tua Tagovailoa. You follow what I mean? Because if you're going to be without him for a number of games, you need to get something from somebody, or you need to have a better running scheme. Some of these third down short yardage plays that you were calling against the Dolphins, I couldn't figure out where the ball was going with not even being on the field or doing any scouting or listening to the coaches or watching film. I saw when they line up with the fullback in the game, who they haven't thrown one pass to the fullback all season. When they line up with the fullback in the game in short yardage, they're going to try to trick play and give the fullback the ball. They did it just a couple weeks ago and got shut down. Now they try to bring it back 2 weeks later. Like, what are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking about? If you're going to wear A-Chain out, wear him out. If you're going to, where's the young rookie you got in there? Mostert is, like Kawhi Leonard. So
well, I'm sorry. And what does that mean, Cam? Can you explain to the fans what that means?
No, I think most of them understand who.
No.
How Kawhi Leonard is not there very often. But I was extremely disappointed in the Miami Dolphins performance out there. I was going into the game. I was a little frustrated with the coaching decision and not to have a proper backup in place. Like, I just thought that was poor planning on the GM part. Your quarterback's main problem is he's fragile, and not to have an adequate replacement in line or in house I think it's a bad decision. And I want to see some coaching from Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel, coach these kid up. I'm not accepting 3 points. What did we score? 3 points with Tua against the Buffalo Bills, and then come back and score 3 points against the Seattle Seahawks? So that's 6 points in 2 weeks. I need more. Mike, no, we need to be better than that, buddy. We need to be better than that. Cleveland, where am I wrong?
Well, Cam, he understands that his scheme is only as good as his players, and right now he doesn't have a starting quarterback, so he can't call the same type of offense. I know that you were clamoring for him to do more, stretch the field, do this and that, but hey, man, I don't got my Tua. I don't got my Pro Bowl quarterback, man. I can only do so much, even with all these receivers, even with all this speed on the outside.
Man, I don't like doing this show without my soundboard. And right now, Cleveland is just cracking joke after joke after joke. Like, what are you talking about? He doesn't have his Tua.
You have his Tua. So, I mean, Tua is what makes the offense go. And what makes the team go is the fact that the offense is so explosive. So the defense can play differently. The running game is different. But when you're trying to dictate to another team and you don't have a quarterback that can get the ball out accurately and efficiently very quickly, well, then your offense just doesn't work. It doesn't work the same way, man. It's not a plug and play like you like to allude to. When you plug certain players in and, it wasn't that player that was in there before, the results will not necessarily be the same, Cameron. And you saw that, right? Skylar Thompson running this offense is limited because it's limited in the amount of plays that they can call. It's limited in his skill set and his ability. So therefore, you're limited in what your production is going to be ultimately.
Skylar Thompson scored 3 points against the Seattle Seahawks. A Tua Tagovailoa offense scored 3 points against the Buffalo Bills. Should I say now that these guys are on par?
No, you shouldn't, because you watched both of those games, and again, you're forgetting the fact that Tua got knocked out, concussed in the middle of the game.
Okay, he played 3 quarters.
Okay, so hey, man, look, man, you're enough of an assessor of talent to realize that making a Skylar Thompson to a Tagovailoa comparison is ludicrous. They're not the same. They're not on caliber just because one scored 3 points in one game and the other one scored 3 points in another game. That means they equal. No, that's not a thing.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about this.
I know what you want to say, but you just can't say it. You wish you had your Tua and you don't.
I'm frustrated with the front office
out Tua, and it's horrible.
I'm frustrated with the front office not to have a plan for this.
Okay, well, I mean, you get mad at the front office not having an adequate backup, but a lot of teams don't have adequate backups, man. That's not even 90% of the teams don't have an adequate backup. If their starting quarterback comes crashing down.
I mean, but we know that our quarterback is very liable to crash down at any moment. We've seen it.
Quarterback is one play away from, not being in there. So
and
if
then we travel.
Then everyone should have like a top tier, like ready to play backup quarterback, and they don't.
And then another thing that made it tough was we had to travel. Like I think it's like 2,700 miles from Miami to Miami to
rule number one of my book: bet against a team traveling across the country. Can't get much further than Miami to Seattle, can you? I don't think it's geographically possible.
But I don't think it was the PJ flight that hindered their performance, or I think it was more so of the collusion between the Seahawks home team and the men in stripes on the field. Like they was getting some. When have you ever seen a coach run to a ref and call timeout on the sideline, and the refs look at him and just no, you don't get that one. When have you seen it? Have you ever seen that?
Nick Cam, I don't remember a player talking about.
No, there was it wasn't a play, Cleveland. I just asked you, have you ever seen a ref wave off a coach and call a timeout? Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, no, Cam, I've never seen that.
I mean, when there was a go to the whistle. I mean, when they go to the looking at the camera to see a replay, the coaches wouldn't even address our call. The referees wouldn't even address our concerns.
Yeah, Cam, I don't recall any of those things.
I know. I'm sure you don't. You was in Loomis Field cheering on the cheating. It was distinctly a home field advantage for Seahawks in Loomis Field against my Miami Dolphins, and I didn't like it at all. But all that being said, if my backup tight end actually catches the ball, that's a 1-score game. And then Seahawks fans are extremely nervous at that point. But then Cleveland continues on rhetoric. I don't know what you're talking about. So that was a painful loss for a lot of reasons. The 49ers losing to the Rams. The Rams came back on them in seconds. Like, you want to blame Purdy. You have a problem identifying quality quarterbacks. Like, it took you a minute to.
I don't. I think I identified C.J. Stroud pretty quickly. Do you recall?
You got me? You say you want to clearly take shots at Brock Purdy, and you want to. You didn't like Jaden Daniels. Now you want to put this loss all on Brock Purdy?
Not all on Brock Purdy, but he certainly had his chance to pull victory from the jaws of defeat.
So when he hits the receiver, when it's 3rd and 10, he hits the receiver for a 40-yard pass downfield that would have seemed ice the game, and the receiver flat out drops it. I mean, how do you blame Brock Purdy for that?
I mean, throw a better football.
He couldn't have thrown a better ball. A better comeback ball. The ball hits him in between the hands. The receiver drops it. The receiver catches the ball. They kneel down and run the clock out.
Okay, well, Cameron, the game doesn't come down to just one play. It's a 60-minute game. There's all kinds of things that could have happened, previously to put them in more advantageous situations to win the game. They just didn't.
After that, the Rams got a 50-yard punt return.
Lost. This is the defending NFC champions, right? And they went out there and lost.
They lost.
Los Angeles Rams, who didn't have their starting receiver, they didn't have the number 2 receiver. They didn't have, I think, 4 starting offensive linemen, 3 linebackers.
It was
4 special teams players.
I have it as my worst loss of the week, but I'm not blaming Tua like you want to do. And so you want to blame Tua for?
No, of course, because you love Purdy. That's why you're not blaming Purdy.
I'm not blaming Purdy because it wasn't his Purdy's fault. But let's see. Do you blame C.J. Stroud for his loss against Sam Darnold and the Vikings?
He was for that same type of love for Tua. I mean, maybe he would have had that maturation process a little bit faster. Sometimes all you need is love, Cameron.
Do you have that same love for C.J. Stroud and not blaming him and giving him the protection against the loss against the Vikings?
He did, and the key word is protection. He did not have a lot of protection, man. He did what he could do.
Okay, and these are the same guys who've been playing with them for the last 15 games.
He didn't have Joe Mixon in there, mixing it up, creating balance for the offense.
A lot of excuses there. They're playing Sam Darnold and Brian Flores. And then you're gonna you need excuses to beat those guys? Apparently so. Apparently so. The Raiders and the Panthers. Now, you did predict that the Panthers would look dramatically different with Andy Dalton at quarterback than Bryce Young. The Panthers over the Raiders. Which was that a worse look for Bryce Young or a worse look for the Las Vegas Raiders?
Oh, it's a worse look for Bryce Young without question. Wow. They went and got somebody that had been reading the same book, looking at the same thing, and when he gets in there, it's like, oh yeah, that's how it's supposed to look. Like, oh okay, yeah.
I mean, he's the Red Rifle. I mean, he's a veteran quarterback. You can't compare what he's doing how he sees the field against
a
rookie quarterback.
It's so dramatically different, Cameron. But
I'm saying you can't compare the two, man. They're one's a brand new kid and one's a veteran.
It's been what 15? No, it's been 20 games for Bryce Young.
Okay, excuse me. So we're talking about a toddler to a teenager comparison.
Look, man.
Come on, what?
Bryce looked horrible. And Andy Dalton looked incredible. And we all know that Andy Dalton's not incredible. So what's that got to say about Bryce?
Ooh, again, more.
You can go get Andy Dalton and plug it into this offense and it's 36 points? God.
I mean,
what's wrong with you?
He's not going to score 36 points next week. He just caught the Raiders off guard. They weren't expecting it. Oh, Andy Dalton. Half those guys probably didn't know Andy Dalton. Half those guys probably didn't know who Andy Dalton was and didn't know he could strike up the band pretty good.
Watch when he goes up to Cincinnati and throws up 30 again.
Wait, hold up. You got Andy Dalton being the comeback player of the year.
Oh, he's on pace for sure.
That's what I'm saying. You say he gonna go do it again.
It's him and Ron going toe to toe, man.
Oh yeah, because if Aaron Rodgers finishes the season, that's gonna be his award, regardless of what they do, huh?
Yeah. We got a battle now. Before it was just Ron just running away, but now it's like and he's in the competition. Get like 2-3 wins up on your belt. Like you starting to feel like okay, yeah.
Now you talking about prediction coming back down to surface. Like that drop is going to be pretty soon. I mean, those who know about Andy Dalton know about Andy Dalton, and it wasn't like I think he had one playoff run in his 10 years with the Bengals.
I think they went back-to-back playoffs.
Okay. Next question was about Kevin O'Connell and Sam Darnold. You don't want to give Kevin O'Connell no credit, just like the NFL downplays running backs. Cleveland over here downplaying coaching in the NFL. So again, here I got him again, fans, and watch how he dances out of this one here. Justin Fields now the man in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he's the man.
And what is the turnaround between Justin Fields this year and last year?
The turnaround is that he's in a much better environment. He's been able to kind of learn and be around his mentor, Russell Wilson, that he's been with, they've had a relationship since his days in college. You know what I'm saying? And now he has, Mike Tomlin believes in him.
Okay.
That's why they brought, both of them in. And unfortunately, it got started pushing the sleds, and Russ's calf hasn't been good, ever since. But everyone knows, everyone knows you have to ride the hot hand and ride it as long as you can.
What would a quarterback be doing pushing the sleds? Cleveland he's not letting go of the storyline that Russell Wilson it was the trainer fault for overexerting Russell Wilson.
Why are they pushing sleds around? When do they ever push people around? When do quarterbacks ever push people around?
I want to know. I want to see the sled. You got a picture of the sled that he was pushing around? Because that sled.
I don't have a picture of the sled, but when do quarterbacks ever push people around?
They don't. I mean, they don't.
So why are you having players that never do that?
And he got a leg tear. It's been 7 weeks ago, Cleveland. You still holding on to his calf just ain't right?
I mean, it still hasn't healed properly.
Ooh. So now Russell and all the medicine that he has available to him, all the finest doctors that he has available to him, they can't heal a calf muscle, a sore calf muscle?
Apparently not.
This is ridiculous, bro. This is ridiculous. He was worse than Trump said he had nothing to do with the insurrection on January 6th. You're like Russell calf muscle from overexertion from the trainer, and we're going with Justin Fields. Russell's season is done, fam. Russell, I mean, if he might be a backup there next year, but Russell's career as a starting quarterback is over. Unless he were to come back and win, Justin Fields went down with a broken wrist or something.
Okay, well, I don't know if you've seen the situation over there in Las Vegas, but I don't think they're opposed to trading for Russell Wilson if he gets a little bit too late into the season. Of just losses and losses.
Oh, you think there's still a spot for Russell?
Quite possibly.
You think that's you want him back in Seattle? I know you guys were playing kissy face on the phone a couple years ago when you were upset with Gino.
We're all right with Gino for right now.
What? What? He finally said we're good with Gino?
For right now.
Fans, I take that as pretty high praise. I take that Gino. I take that as pretty high praise. And he didn't even realize what he was saying. That's how much he was taking a shot at Russell Wilson fans. The Ravens run through the Cowboys. The Chiefs activate Kareem Hunt. I saw somebody on my free, fantasy football league scouring the waiver wire and went and picked him up.
Oh, hey, are we talking about fantasy football right quick?
I'm just saying.
Is that what we doing?
What happened?
You got the standings up?
The stand. Oh, you want to see standings this week?
Yeah.
Last week you want to see some standings. I don't have them available right now.
Oh, okay. Well, the Wi-Fi. Yeah, but somebody did pick up Kareem Hunt, and that would be guilty as charged. Yeah,
Kareem Hunt. You gonna wait another 4 weeks for him to get into action?
No, he's coming out balling like, oh man, come on, Kareem Hunt. He knows.
How long? It's been like 4 years ago since he played,
bro. Not since he played. Since he played for them. Oh man, he knows.
What do you know? He know what?
He knows this is his last best chance at super duper glory. And trust me, he is saying his prayers and eating his vitamins and drinking the best of nutrient drinks and eating well and getting to sleep. And man,
is he in shape? Is he ready to play?
He's in shape. He is ready to play. He is so motivated. And so many of them cats are still there from when he was there before. He might even be sleeping in the guest house at Patrick Mahomes' place, man.
Ooh, that'd be a good place to sleep. I tell you that. That's the first place I would knock on the door. The first door I would knock in. Yo, Patrick, what's up? I heard you got a nice compound. I know you got an extra bedroom by the pool, man. Cut out the games. Yeah, I just need a place to get right.
Extra transportation, quick transportation too. You're never gonna be late,
man. Well, we'll see. You think he's gonna come back right away and be effective?
Yeah.
I mean, kind of Cleveland. This ain't golf, bro. This ain't golf or tennis where you can take a break and just come back. You just don't come back.
Last year.
Who did he play for last year?
Cleveland.
He was on the team. He didn't really play, did he? He was part of he was sharing carries with Ford, huh?
Yeah, he sure was.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see how he looks. Derwin James gets ejected and suspended for repeated violations of playing rules after receiving 7 necessary roughing the penalties in the losses to the Steelers. He knocked out Freiermuth again, head-on collision. Do you think that was a warranted flag?
Man, I didn't see the play, but it sounds like he's just the 2.0 version of Rodney Harrison. Chargers always got them cheap.
No. Rodney Harrison was cheap. Rodney Harrison was Rodney Harrison
was the king of the half-second late. Yeah.
I didn't even like Rodney Harrison, how dirty he was. Rodney, you just could not explain some of the stuff he would do. And he tried to play it off, and he tried to use, because people like me, I'm so smart. Well, that's what made him smart. He's trying to get people to like him, so he could be dirty. Rodney Harrison was definitely a cheap shot artist. There's no argument there. He was in a couple of places. Where was he other than the Chargers? I'm having a brain fart.
New England. He's a Belichick.
Yeah. Belichick went and picked him up from somewhere. I'm having a brain fart of where he picked him up. He didn't get drafted there. But yeah, he fit the mold just perfectly. The dirty two shoes, like the goody two shoes character, all nice and polite in front of the parents. As soon as the parents walk out, he's the one causing all the ruckus. Which team, Cleveland? Which undefeated team do you have the most confidence in? Which team does not make the playoffs, should I say? That's the question I want to ask you. Which undefeated team, Seahawks, Vikings, Bills, and Chiefs, do not make the playoffs?
The Vikings.
The Vikings, you don't trust O'Connell, but you trust Geno Smith
I
and
definitely
Mike McCarthy.
those other three teams will win their division.
Huh?
I said I trust those other three teams to win their division, which makes Minnesota the odd man out.
Of the winless teams, Bengals, Titans, and Jaguars, Cleveland, which team makes the playoffs?
I don't think any of those teams make the playoffs.
Ooh, the Bengals gonna be hung out to dry this year, huh? Ooh, Jacksonville, we see their quarterback stinks. Will Levis, I'm not sure anybody was ever convinced except his parents that he could play in this league. And Joe Burrow, Cleveland in week 3, Cleveland is Xing Joe Burrow out of the playoffs. Joe Burrow, he listened to the show, Cleveland. You want to take that back or?
Nah, JB knows how I feel about him, so it's nothing personal, man. They just took too long to get their situation in order, and they were playing around. And now they didn't lost a game they should have beat Kansas City. They lost that one, and now they didn't lost a game to the Washington Commanders. It just starts to spiral downhill, and all of that animosity that everyone has because Jamar ain't been around, and T is waiting until his hamstring is 117% good. Yeah, no, it's just animosity, man. Might go 0-4 this week. I mean, and then there's just nothing to come back to.
Who had the best catch of the weekend, Cleveland? Was it DK Metcalf over the Seahawks receiver on the sideline? Was it Malik Neighbors? I have the going over the DB as one of the options, but was that better than his touchdown option? That kind of came to my head right now. Or was it Juwan Jennings going over the DB and taking the ball out of his hands? Or was it Amari Cooper on the sideline? We had a lot of options for best catch. What was the best catch?
Sideline options, but I'm gonna go with Malik on the sideline. That was pretty filthy.
Malik looked like he earning his money. So, okay, fans, we had some little technical difficulties. I think we're cleared up, right, Cleveland?
I can hear you.
I said, I think we had some technical difficulties with our spreadsheet last week that are cleared up for us. So let me show you guys his here. Here's a look at our picks from last week. Can everybody see this? Can you see it, Cleveland?
Do we from last week? Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, this is a bad week, fans. This is a bad week. If you scroll down, I had 7 correct. Cleveland had 5 correct. Let's run through it real quick. We talked about the Chargers and the Steelers game where Herbert was getting beat up, but the Steelers did just enough to win games. Like counting on their defense, letting Justin Fields run around there and make plays just to move just to get the first down and move the ball around a little bit. Were you impressed with the Justin Fields and the Steelers, or just less impressed with the Chargers in this game?
Got to be more impressed with Justin Fields and the Steelers. I mean, the Chargers were dealing with injury issues, so more impressive for them.
We both lost that game. You had the Jets over the Patriots. I just don't like the Jets, so I took the New England in that one. No need to talk about that one. The Browns over the Giants. The Browns lost to the Giants. We both had Cleveland winning that game. The Giants and Malik Neighbors came alive. Daniel Jones came alive in that game and pulled one out. We both had Green Bay over the Texans. We both had the Bears over the Colts. Are you concerned with the Bears' loss here to an undefeated team? Gave the Colts their first loss. Is this just how the season goes for a young quarterback? What's your thoughts on this one?
The learning curve's a little bit steeper than I was anticipating. I thought he would be a little bit further along than he is right now, but slow work in progress. I haven't thrown him out yet.
We talked about the Vikings beating the Texans. You like that? You like that as one of your better games of the week. I had the Eagles beating the Saints. Why did you take the Saints over the Eagles?
The Saints had been averaging 45 points a game, and I thought that the Eagles would not be able to rebound from that very emotional loss that they had a week before to the Falcons.
Well, good job out of the Eagles. We both had Tampa Bay winning, and the Broncos won that one. We both had surprised by the Panthers beating the Raiders. We talked about Sam Dalton's resurgence. We both had Seattle over the Dolphins. I had Baltimore over Dallas. Why did you have Dallas beating Baltimore?
Just didn't think that Baltimore would travel to Jerry World and come out with a victory. They tend to play around and not take games very serious. And I thought that the Cowboys, after losing in embarrassing fashion to the Saints last week, would rebound.
I mean, all of Texas should have known, because all of Baltimore knew that the Ravens were going to finally use your guy Derrick Henry to run all over the Cowboys. I don't know what the where the missing, where the drop off was. The Rams, we talked about the Rams coming back on the Niners in the last minute of that game. A good win for the Rams, but I had San Francisco winning that game. I had Detroit over Arizona, and you chose Detroit. Are you done with the shortstop?
No, I chose Arizona, not Detroit.
Or you chose, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Are you done with the shortstop?
Can you scroll up so the fans can see? Because we can't see what you're saying. There we go. Perfect. So, I thought that the Arizona Cardinals will win at home after putting up 41 points the week before and finally learning how to use Maserati Marv Harrison to his highest and best use. It just didn't happen.
Well, they use Marv. He looked good in two consecutive games in a row. He's looking better than that quarterback in Chicago for Rookie of the Year. So good work out of you, Marvin. Keep it up. We both had Kansas City beating the Falcons. Kansas City, they were now winning games that they used to lose. I mean, we all remember the penalty where Chris Jones jumped off sides and allowed the Patriots go down and kick a field goal and move along in the game. I think they wouldn't have won the Super Bowl that year. Now the Chiefs are causing those penalties on other teams, and it's being said that the Chiefs are having favoritism, which is odd. It's just funny how the team kind of grow into that role, right? To now they're getting the benefit of the doubt, or they're not getting the benefit of the doubt for whatever reason. You agree there or no?
They've been good for so long. I mean, they made the AFC Championship. So what was it, like 6 of the last 7 years? So, I don't really get the part where like they're winning games they usually lose, because they don't usually lose too often. They've been to the Super Bowl quite a few times, but it was a good victory to pull out, and they're just kind of rounding into shape, and now Kareem Hunt's coming back to the squad, and they'll replace Isaiah Pacheco's production with him, so they'll be all right.
And if we had Buffalo absolutely blew away the 0-2, now 0-3 Jaguars. That was impressive. And the Commanders go ahead into Cincinnati and beat the Bengals again, forcing them to go to 0-3. And Jaden Daniels with his breakout party. Did your thoughts on Jaden Daniels change?
I mean, he was just doing some things, Cam. I mean, I'm just right.
You're not ready to come across the border.
I'm riding the wave, man. I'm riding the wave.
But you still don't sound like a believer. You sound like you have some hesitancy. Is that sense correct?
So far, he's exceeded my expectations, and it would be silly to just keep not saying, "Oh, he's that dude." But I'm
looking into this week, fans. You can see I have the Dallas Cowboys beating the New York Giants. You just believe that the Cowboys just can't stop. We know they can't stop the run. Who are the Giants running backs? And you thinking they can't stop the pass either?
last week was just I still have like concussion symptoms.
Oh, residual. Oh, you got residual. You can't. Yeah. Okay.
So many upsets that when something looks weird, I'm not 100% convinced the other team is great, then I just go the other way. So,
Atlanta Falcons. They're at home. I can see them beating the Saints. And so I'm gonna go ahead and say that the Saints. Can the Saints get back to putting up 35 points? Because this is going to be a high scoring game. We should have went over under on this one because this is going to be a high scoring game. I think this might be a 35-32 game, 35-31 type game against Falcons and the Saints because they both want to put up points. But I got the Falcons like you do. I got the Rams are going to. I mean, the Rams are confident right now. The Rams are coming in on the high where the Bears are coming in on the low. That momentum is going to carry into this game, and the Rams are going to beat the Bears in this game. The Bears ain't going to be able to score enough points. The Rams at least going to score 17 points. They at least going to do that. Matthew Stafford. They're going to get a block punt or block field goal attempt, to put them in field goal range, get a field goal. They're going to get 3 points from a special teams, 2 touchdowns in the game. That's 17 points. The Bears ain't going to do that. They haven't shown that they can get that done quite yet. So I got the Rams. You want to comment on the Bears? Why you got the Bears? Other than this, Caleb got to wake up sooner or later.
Rams have been beat up at their skill position, and
that's showing me.
Yeah, it's gonna start to get a little bit colder. Yeah, it's not quite chilly, but it's not California love type weather.
This is a good time to go to Chicago. There's no snow on the ground. Minnesota over the Packers. I think we could both agree with that. The Packers and the backup quarterback of Minnesota, they've just been playing too good right now. We both have Pittsburgh over the Colts. Both have the Jets over the Broncos. Have Philly over the Buccaneers. I got Cincinnati. Getting on the winning board, beating Cincinnati and Joe Burrow beating the Andy Dalton-driven Carolina Panthers. I got Cincinnati getting on board, winning this game here. Why do you have Carolina? You think Andy Dalton just going to outplay Joe Burrow?
No, I think that the Carolina Panthers were inspired by the fact that if you kind of run this offense the way it's supposed to be run, it can be productive. And once the offense is productive, it's not as much pressure on all the other facets of the team. And those guys are coming on the road. They don't feel real good about themselves right now. And yeah.
Okay. Houston over the Jaguars. The Jaguars suck. We agree on that. Washington over the Commanders. I think Jaden is here to stay. And I think he's going to show it against the shortstop this week. San Francisco is going to beat the Patriots. We both have the Raiders over the Browns, KC over the Chargers, Buffalo over the Ravens. I was kind of the Ravens. I don't see the Ravens scoring with Buffalo. Buffalo right now. I brought this up to you, Cleveland, and I don't remember if you remember this conversation, but I said, and one of the reasons we were talking about our division champions, I said I thought that Josh Allen is going to have a better season, kind of the what is it, addition by subtraction, by getting rid of Stephon Diggs, he's gonna now not have a one target to throw to. He's gonna be forced to throw at everybody because nobody's established themselves as the number one target in Buffalo. Therefore, Josh Allen is going to be spraying the ball all over the field, and so far he's done that, and he's looked. I compared that to the season after Megatron retired, how Stafford was throwing the ball. He couldn't key in on one player. He's throwing the ball all over the field and gave other receivers a chance to do stuff. And I think he had a better season that last year or the following year. Not that Megatron wasn't any good, but he's commanding more attention from not only attention from the defenders, but attention from the quarterback himself. Do you follow what I'm saying?
I follow the logic. I don't necessarily agree. If you have Megatron, that's why you throw it to him all the time.
So what do you think about the situation with Buffalo losing Stephon Diggs?
Stephon Diggs was a distraction. He was, not really living up to the expectation, and was thinking that he was still who he was like 3 years ago, and he wasn't. And so, yeah, maybe a little bit of addition by subtraction there with regards to just like the mental mindset of the team and kind of like the atmosphere around the locker room. But if you have a number one receiver, you would always prefer to have one of those than to not have one. So,
well, you say that, and your team went to the Super Bowl with some pedestrian receivers.
They did, and they would have preferred to have a number one.
Okay, one thing Cleveland is trying to show today, he's not a flip-flopper. If he says something, regardless of how wrong it is, he's going to stick with it because he's sticking with his philosophy, talent over coaching, and doesn't want to bend at all. And now he says he'd rather have that number one, even though his team went to the Super Bowl with some pedestrian receivers. And I finally got him to admit that too, fans. This week, my picks against the spread, I got New Orleans, excuse me. It should be New Orleans against the Falcons. I'll take those minus 5 points. Give myself a point and a half, excuse me. I got Washington plus 3. That spread seems kind of off to me, right? I guess they are going to Arizona. I'll take Washington plus 3. I see you did the same. And then Tennessee plus 1. Tennessee plus 1 over the Dolphins? Or I'll take that all day. Like, come on, that's easy money. What are you doing?
If you can scroll up at least a tad bit, I just had a better game. I mean, I had the Seahawks, which you failed to address. I think the Seahawks can stay within a field goal in Detroit. And actually,
my bad. I didn't miss it again. I got Detroit winning that game.
Yeah,
Detroit at home. Detroit right now 2-1. I mean, the Seahawks. They're. I don't want to say they're already fat and happy at 3-0, but they're kind of satisfied at 3-0. Like nobody anticipated these guys to be 3-0. So I got the Detroit Lions winning this game at home because they kind of owe the Seahawks. Seahawks went up there last year and beat them, didn't they?
They did in overtime.
Yeah. They owe them one. So I got the Seahawks in that game. My confidence picks, Cleveland. Confidence picks. I got Tennessee, Cincinnati, Houston, KC, and Detroit. Those Detroit Lions. So Seahawks can really ruin my week here coming up. And then we see you got KC, San Fran, the Jets, Houston, and Vegas. Well, why don't I have San Fran on my list? Playing the Patriots. What am I doing, Cleveland? Can I make a change real quick?
That is entirely up to you, my friend.
Man, I don't know how I let how do I not have San Fran on the confidence picks? Cleveland, Brock Purdy, my guy. I see you have some faith in Brock Purdy all of a sudden when the confidence pick pop up. I see you got some faith. All right, fans, let's jump into this NBA conversation. Kawhi Leonard have off-season surgery and potentially to miss the opener. Do you agree with the Nets retiring Vince Carter's jersey?
I mean, not really. No.
I mean, the Nets and the Raptors are actually retiring his jersey.
I mean, probably a little bit more for Toronto than New Jersey.
The Sixers and Embiid get an extension, agreed to an extension. 3 years, 192, Cleveland. 192 for 3 years. Worth it?
Oh, for sure.
No question, no hesitation.
I mean, that's what the numbers sound so crazy and gaudy. I had to do the math real quick, but that's new CBA, NBA math, man. Yeah, he's that guy.
Wow, Joel. No, I mean, no hesitation. No, not at all. Oh yeah, for sure. He's good. Yeah, no, Joel. I mean, we have to look at this. Can we get a medical clause on this? You got to play 65 games a season.
It's not how this thing works now.
We don't talk about no clause or nothing.
No, that's not how it works.
Ooh, what do you think of Tatum's tattoo of himself kissing the Larry O'Brien trophy? Did you see the tattoo?
No,
he's
got multiple tats, and I don't read too much in the symbolism of people's tattoos. So yeah, I have no opinion on that.
Well, he has multiple tattoos, to your point, but on his back he has a picture of him, an actual picture of him kissing the Larry O'Brien trophy. I think they're on a bus or something. My thing, why that tattoo? The thing I don't like about that too is like you. So you only want to win one. Like you're not looking for. It wasn't like it's on a mantle and here's one and there's a place for 7 others. You know what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying?
I mean, the only thing that I can say, Cam, is maybe he was looking at that as like that is just an example of when I kiss the Larry O'Brien trophy because I do this all the time. Like maybe admit like
he doesn't do it all the time. He's been there one time. I mean, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of.
Like maybe he's saying that like maybe this is just what it looks like when I kiss the trophy, no matter how many times. I don't know. I don't get into interpretation of tattoos at all.
The Memphis Grizzlies waived Derrick Rose. Do you want a Derrick Rose on your team?
I mean, not necessarily, man. No.
Oh, you've seen enough. So, did you hear what I say? Kawhi Leonard had an off-season surgery and might potentially miss the opener.
For real, no, I didn't hear that. He quite often has off-season surgery. So, and he was not a part of the USA team. Almost cost him the gold medal. So, I assume that whatever procedure kept him out of the Olympics, he would have had done sooner. Why wait until September the 29th to have it? That's weird.
He probably had it after they realized he got pulled from the Olympics. That's probably when he had it. But why didn't you have it, after the playoffs when you didn't play after Game 3 against the Mavericks? Just a couple more questions, man. More questions for the Clippers. They open up this fancy new building, which should be cool. But who's going to be on the court? James Harden, Terrence Mann, and who else? Oh, they got Nick Batum. They bring him back.
Oh, Batum coming back? Oh, okay.
They got Zubac. I mean, but that's not a 50-win team. You're in the Western Conference. That's a playing-ish team. If Kawhi is not going to be there every night, and now if Kawhi was there every night to give you something, like that could be a 55-win team. Kawhi's not there every night. That's going to be 48, 49, 50-ish team.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Paul was still running the point, and Blake Griffin was still
see how you do.
DeAndre, Jordan was still, Ferrall in the middle. Yeah.
See how you do.
None of that's going on. Yeah.
Asia Wilson wins her WNBA MVP Only second winner was a unanimous winner. Only second unanimous winner. Caitlin Clark wins AP Rookie of the Year. Are you good with that? Are you good with that?
Good with both of those.
And Suns Dejanay Carrington wins WNBA Most Improved Player. So yeah, that's our WNBA/NBA talk, Cleveland. We do this show every week, fans, Cleveland, just to kind of bring you guys some content that nobody else brings you. It brings you not only inspiration. We want to have fun with the number game at the beginning of the show, talk our sports, but I like giving you guys just a little bit of history from this week in history segment, Cleveland. That oftentimes Cleveland, not even Cleveland, is aware of some of these events that has gone on in Cleveland. So I like bringing this segment to kind of educate the fans on just different stuff in the world, man. So thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. We really appreciate you. As I jump into the segment, Cleveland. September 29, 1962, force of federal marshals escort James H. Meredith to the campus of where?
University of Alabama.
University of Mississippi. So we can go to school. Yeah, Mississippi. 9/29/1979, senior William Arthur Lewis, the Caribbean island of St. Lucia, become first black to receive the Nobel Peace Prize in economics. September 28, 1981, Joseph Paul Franklin, an avowed racist and serial killer implicated in the deaths of over 20 people, was sentenced to life imprisonment for killing two black men, Ted Fields and David Martin, for jogging with white women in Salt Lake City, Utah. 1981. I don't recall that one. Do you?
No, that's a little off the grid for me.
September 22nd, 1960, African nation of Mali declares independence from France. September 28, 1868, white militia resentful of African Americans' new voting rights attacked and killed hundreds of blacks. Were killed in the ethnic war in Opelousas, Louisiana. They call it the Opelousas, Louisiana massacre. I never heard of that, but it just sounds pretty I want to say relevant today, right?
Yeah.
Militias resentful of African American new voting rights attacked and killed hundreds of black men. It's crazy. September 29, 1975, the first black minority-owned and operated TV station in the U.S. began broadcasting. September 24, 1935, boxer Joe Louis became the first boxer to draw $100 million gate. A $1 million gate, Cleveland, September 24, 1924, this coach became the fifth head coach under age 40 since 2000 to win each of his first 3 games in his career, joining Mike McDaniel, 2022, Matt LaFleur, that's the coach in Green Bay, Josh McDaniels, 2009. So how this crowd doesn't mean you're safe. And then Mike Tomlin, who is the coach, Cleveland?
Can you repeat the question one more time, Cameron?
This head coach became the 5th head coach under 40 years old since 2000 to win each of his first 3 games in his coaching career. Mike McDaniel. He joins Mike McDaniel, Matt LaFleur, Josh McDaniels, and Mike Tomlin.
Mike McDonald.
Mike McDonald is correct. Mike McDonald is correct. The U, number 7 in the country. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Who you got, Bama or Georgia this weekend?
Georgia.
How the Huskies doing in the Big Ten?
1-0 to start conference play.
What's the record overall, though?
3-1.
Are they gonna make the playoffs?
No.
Why is it the Big Ten supposed to be a bigger, tough conference?
That's why they're not going to make the playoffs.
Who's in your Heisman watch right now?
Cam Ward at Miami. The cat over at Tennessee has been balling out.
Where Cam Ward go to college last year?
Cam, we're only concentrating on the present and the future. We don't go into the past. I mean, with the portal, I mean, who does that?
I mean, he was somewhere last year, wasn't
he? Cam, it's where he's at right now, and right now he's a hurricane.
He's with the U. He's with the U. Can Reggie Bush win his lawsuit against the NCAA for enriching themselves while he was at USC, profiting from TV deals, merchandise sales, and media rights sales? Not even Reggie. I asked you this question with Braylon Edwards a couple weeks ago. Braylon Edwards from Michigan. You said he couldn't win. You don't think Reggie Bush can win? Super Bowl champion Reggie Bush.
Those were not the rules back then, and he broke the rules in a different way. So, yeah, why are you trying to get money for something that wasn't even in place at the time?
No. Whose side are you on? Sluka, the quarterback at UCLA, or excuse me, UNLV, who's off to a 3-0 start, and says he's deciding to redshirt this year. He's going to join somebody else because they didn't live up to their billing of paying him $100K in a NIL dispute.
I'm on the side of the university. There's something weird going on there. Yeah.
You're on wait. You're on the side of the university. Usually, you're on the side of the players without question.
I know, but Vegas is just not one of those places where someone couldn't just slip you an envelope with $100,000 in it. Like, no.
Oh, you're saying that should have been done. So you're saying he might be asking for an extra $100,000 more.
Yeah, or if it's like, I just don't feel like if you get out to a 3-0 start, like someone's just stiffing you, man, just not gonna pay. Like, no, and especially in a town like that's built on cash. No.
I mean, that's what he says. He had an agreement. The university didn't live up to the agreement. I'm out. I'm not staying here for this. Like if you just said you went to work, we make an agreement.
If it got to that point, the university would have been like, hey, man, like just sent the beacon out and someone just would have came in, like I said, and just drop an envelope.
So you sound like you think Sloka, he's trying to double up. That's what it sounds like. You think he got his cheese.
There was never a binding agreement to begin with, but hey, man, if we could just talk about this, we can talk about this and you'll get your cheese. But once you start redshirting and quitting and stuff, we're over. We're done with all this, man.
Well, maybe he just didn't come in.
That sounds like something you do in Bloomington, Indiana, or Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Where there's not other options.
You do in Las Vegas, Nevada. We can find you $100,000 in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Stiffers are stiffers, regardless of where you at. But yeah, you're right.
I know, but I mean that's what I'm saying. Like, if you really think that's going on, it's like we can get you $100,000, probably within the hour. It's Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so why do I have to wait then? Why you guys make me wait? Why you guys make me, sign those papers?
What was our agreement previously?
They said by the 24th of September.
Okay.
So or by the 18th of September. Here we are a week later. I still ain't got my cheese.
You pull it.
I mean,
if it was like June 25th and you still got your cheese, okay, yeah, we're done here. But a day or two in Vegas.
Okay. Hey, Cleveland, the Padres clinched the playoff berth on a triple play versus the Dodgers. Which are you more upset if you're a Dodger fan at the triple play, or the fact that Ichiro was standing on the on deck, or not Ichiro, the greatest baseball player ever to
Oh, your
lace
guy,
up
Shohei
up,
Ohtani. Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani. Were you more upset that Shohei was in the on deck circle, or that they actually got a triple play?
You're upset they got a triple play. That's incredibly difficult to do statistically.
Now you can't convince me, Cleveland, that the bigger bags don't help towards the triple play. The ball does not have that as far to travel.
Sure. Yeah, bigger bags help with the triple play.
You disagree?
I mean, more space with which, I guess, to step on the bag, but triple plays are made in the field, so the bags.
I know.
If
come on, for a triple play to happen, the ball does have to be hit right to the third baseman or right like he can't be.
Yeah, but I don't really think the size of the bag makes it easy. I mean, I guess
the ball has less to travel. How can that not make a difference?
What do you mean the ball has less to travel?
The bigger bags are what, 2 inches bigger on it every all the way around. Like, meaning he can be that further out 2 inches more. That ball has 2 inches less to travel than it would have 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. And so when the ball got to go from the third baseman to the second baseman to the first baseman, that's what, 6 inches less to travel. That be the difference between the guy getting out, is that small minute distance, doesn't it? He don't like that one. He don't like that pure logic right there. You don't like that one.
No, because they throw the baseball too hard, too fast. I mean,
that's what it still has to travel, whether it's 10 feet, 6 inches, or 10 or 11 feet. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cleveland don't like that logic. Well, Cleveland, do you like the logic of it's Shohei watching right now? He's at 50. Will he get to 55, Cleveland? Now he's just playing with the rest of the league, just setting this.
Possible. There's 3 games left, and he's still in his groove. So
he got 55 steals and 53 home runs. What's more impressive? What does Aaron Judge have, like 57 home runs or 50-50? What's more impressive?
I think the 50-50 is more impressive.
Well, get your numbers out, because right now we have 53-53. Okay, and a couple of stolen bags to go at it. So if he can do 55 and 55. Man, was that the Pirates release Telsey 4 bats away from his $200,000 bonus? Fair or foul?
Foul.
Man, how can you expect to have any? What's up with that ownership? Is they just being that cheap? $200,000 makes a difference like that?
Hey, I live in Seattle, rooting for the Mariners. It's nothing worse than having a broke owner. That's when things like that happen.
Talk about the Mariners, man. I heard it on the news tonight. Oh, again, fans, I'm up here in the Northwest, and this line sounds so familiar. Oh, it sounds so familiar. Oh, the Mariners season's not over. They're mathematically still in it. If they win, you might want to go down to the ballpark and cheer them on, because this is the end of the season right here. Like, that sounds so familiar. They still saying that same old line from 30 years ago, Cleveland?
Well, Cam, it's a little different when you're down to like the last 3 games and you're still mathematically in it. Usually this is something that, you're mathematically eliminated like 2-3 weeks ago. So the fact that they're still in it is not surprising, because their pitching is so spectacular. It's just going to make it more heartbreaking when they don't make the playoffs.
Sound like you already foreshadowing what's going to happen.
I mean, I don't think that. I mean, I think even if they win all the rest of their games, there's only 3 more games. I don't think that everyone else is going to lose all of their games. So it's gotten to that point. It's unfortunate. Wish they could have turned the hitting around, a month ago, or 2 months ago. You probably have a different outlook, but it is what it is. So,
So what is the season? I mean, as a playoff begin, you still riding with the Dodgers and the Yankees for the championship?
yeah,
That's what
let's
you
do
had.
that. Let's do that. Let's see that.
That's what you had.
Yeah, I know. Let's do that. Let's see that.
Is that going to happen?
Dodgers pitching's not that great, and the Yankees are top heavy. So, conventional wisdom says no. Neither one of those teams is probably complete enough to do that, but just star power and just what we want to see. I mean, I have no, vested interest in who gets to the World Series at this point with the Mariners not being in it. So might as well be the 2 brightest stars,
Would you consider pitching Shohei in the World Series?
No.
If it came down to it?
No.
Why not?
He's not that kind of pitcher.
He's not what kind of pitcher?
Dominant so much.
He came in the World Baseball Classic and struck out the American League or the American team. Didn't he strike them all out?
That's the World Baseball Classic, and he hasn't pitched. He hasn't pitched in a year and a half. Why would you put him or your team in that situation? Isn't that Roger Clemens coming out like to out of the bullpen or something? I know you don't really understand baseball that well, but
You taking shots at Shohei? Shohei can't. He's not like that. Is what you're saying?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Yes.
So when he comes out and do it, then what's gonna be your argument then? He did it against the Mets, and they had a poor.
I will have no argument if Shohei Ohtani comes out of the bullpen and pitches for the Los Angeles Dodgers in the 2024 playoffs
and win a game,
or save a game, or pitch an inning to get them out of the 8th inning. If he comes in and pitches anything.
Ooh, Shohei, you heard what Cleveland been hating on you all year long. He been hating on you, huh?
All year about that pitching, yeah.
He been hating on you all year long. So once he comes into court and do it, then Cleveland's gonna be asking you for some gambling tips.
Okay.
We're gonna stick with that, fans. Cleveland, where can the people find you, man?
At Clevey Wonder on Twitter and TikTok. Cleveland's still on Instagram.
Thank you, fans. You can always be part of the show by hitting us up at @_Voice of the Fans on Twitter, @_Voice of the Fans on Twitter. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This has been week 310 of the show. As I mentioned earlier, fans, we do have the number game at the beginning of the show. We do our This Week in History segment in the middle of the show, and I like to end the show with a quote to kind of inspire you guys to get through the rest of the weekend before we bring you some more content again. Cleveland, the quote I have for you guys tonight is, it's not necessarily the amount of time you spend at practice that counts. It's what you put into the practice. That's from Mr. Eric Lindgren, says we get the hockey season started right away. It's not what you're practicing on, Cleveland. It's what you put into the practice. Are you practicing the right skills, Cleveland? Because I'm like you can't practice for me, okay? Because I come at you at too many different angles. I got too much knowledge around sports for you. When I back you into the corner, I see tonight we learned that Cleveland does not want to relinquish his thought process, regardless of what information is brought to him. He refuses to acknowledge the information that's brought to him. And so the fans learned how stubborn you were tonight. But we thank you for being a part of the show, fans. I thank you guys for being a part of the show. And as always, fans, thank you for making our voice your choice.